Sales is one of, if not the most powerful skill set you can develop and master if you want to make more money for yourself or your business. The problem is that many of the gurus you've seen online try to make it sound too complicated so they can sell you a $5,000 mentorship. But the truth is, sales is not rocket science if you actually know what to focus on. And if you give me the next few minutes, you'll learn 5 sales techniques that can help you overcome your fear of sales, close more deals, and increase your earnings. First technique, focus on problems. Instead of focusing on the benefits or worse, the features of your product or service, highlight the problem you fix for your clients. This is more effective for 4 reasons. First of all, the human brain is twice as likely to move away from pain as it is to move towards pleasure. When you discuss the problems you solve instead of the benefits, you receive twice the attention and engagement from the prospect. Number 2, as humans, we are obsessed with fixing our problems. That's why you're often tossing and turning in your bed at night thinking about them. When you show the prospect that you understand their problems, you make them feel seen and they will trust you more for it. Number 3, what is every person's favorite topic? Themselves. In a world where everyone focuses only on how great their offer is, you will stand out because you're focusing on them and their problems. 4, science shows that humans make decisions based on emotions and rationalize them later. Probably why often we get into toxic relationships, because they provide us with powerful emotions. Problems will evoke strong emotions, and that will motivate the will to act, making it easier for you. All you have to do is understand what problems the features and benefits of your offer address. Let's say you work for a marketing agency and you help founders improve their online brand and get more leads. The problem you fix is the lack of online visibility and a poor pipeline. If you're still not sure how to proceed, here are 3 options. First, ask your existing clients what problem you fix for them. Second, ask your prospects what issues with the service you sell they face. Number 3, ask ChatGPT to give you a list of problems your offer solves for your target audience. Second technique, get prospects to handle their own objections instead of doing it yourself. Consider this, the prospect is the one who raises the objection. Therefore, they are the ones who know why they're giving you the objection and where the doubts come from. You will often find yourself arguing with the prospect. How can they not rationally get what you're selling will benefit them? This is the same when you're having an argument with your partner, parents, or friends. They tell you what they think, and you will typically say, yes, but. How does that typically work? Not very well, right? You're trying to persuade them and change their mind, and their brain doesn't like that, just like yours wouldn't. Instead, get them to persuade themselves and change their own mind. You're probably thinking, yeah, great, but how do I do that? It's actually a simple 3-step process. Let's use the I'm happy with my current situation as an example objection. The first step is you accept the objection. No matter what the objection is, you show them you accept it and you have understood it. This will get them to relax and feel heard. It's great to hear you're currently happy with what you've got. Then you're gonna seek permission. Instead of hitting them with a yes but, now seek permission to ask a follow-up question. This will help them relax further and feel in control. Can I ask you a question about that? Finally, you're gonna challenge them. Instead of arguing or selling, you will now challenge the objection with a question. The aim is to get the prospect to think more deeply about the objection and either provide more information or address the objection directly. For example, if there was one thing you'd like to improve on, what would it be? The third technique, script and prepare your conversations, especially your questions. The majestic Alex Hormozi says, 10 hours of preparation for a 10-minute talk can make even a fool look like a genius. And he's right. Sales conversations and negotiations mostly happen on the go, which means you need to think on your feet to come up with a smart thing to say, except you don't. It doesn't matter if you're selling on cold call, face-to-face, or Zoom calls, the number of situations you will face is invariably the same, which means you can prepare for them. Bruce Lee famously said, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Don't try to be smart. Prepare yourself for the most common situations and you will sound exactly as smart as you need to. All you got to do is map out the problematic situations most likely to come up. For example, objections, specific questions they might ask, negotiations, and blockers. For each of these, plan what answers, or even better, what questions you can ask to regain control. For example, If a prospect asks you about the pricing right away, you can ask, are you asking me that because the cost is the most important factor for you? People don't want to appear cheap. They will often back off, giving you back control. As more situations occur, you can develop the right questions. Once you dealt with the situation at least 5 times, you'll be confident to do so without a script, and you will become fluent in it. If you're completely clueless on how to respond, check out my digital coach. The 4th technique, always go deeper. Do not accept surface level information, especially about their problems. As a salesperson, you're likely trigger happy. It's not your fault. We're trying to be killers and close as quickly as possible. Which is why, as soon as the prospect shows they might be half interested in what you're selling, you're happy to shove your offer down their throat. This might have worked 20 or maybe 10 years ago. These days, prospects have got too many options. If they're talking to you, they're talking to someone else, and they will buy from the person who understands them the most. This is why you can never accept the information about their current situation and problems at face value. The deeper you delve into understanding them, the more likely you are to uncover the real reason they may seek to change. The more you understand why they want to change, the more you'll be able to tailor your offer to what they want. This technique requires a great deal of discipline. You will need to stop yourself from going into selling mode and keep digging. There are 3 steps I recommend once you understand there's a problem. First, get a concrete example of the problem. When the prospect gives you a practical example, they're doing a Google search in their own brain, which means it's becoming more real and they start to picture it. Number 2, understand the impact. How is this problem affecting their lives? Is it costing them money, time, sleep, peace? The more quantifiable the impact, the more likely they are to take action to change the situation. Always prioritize finding impact on their personal life, as they're the most potent motivators. Number 3, summarize. Once you're confident they're giving you all the tea and they've gone as deep as possible, it's time to summarize the conversation back to the prospect. It's crucial to show them you listen to them and builds trust with them. It also gets you in a prime position to tailor your solution to what they just told you. 5th technique, don't pitch, disqualify hard instead. Whenever someone is trying to sell you something, you will often be resistant. People, including yourself, do not like to be sold to, but they do love to buy. Which is why you don't want to pitch your offer. You want to do the opposite. This might sound counterintuitive, but in all sales interactions, it eventually comes down to understanding whether the prospect can actually buy. You'll often get stuck on things like price, whether they've got the real power, current availability, etc. The craziest part is that the more you push the prospect away, the more they will want to buy. It's the forever antics of wanting what we cannot have, and we can completely leverage this in sales. This will be the most complex technique to implement, but it will also be the most effective. It requires shifting your focus from trying to sell to the prospect to getting them to sell to you. Let's say you figure out they have a problem you can help them with. For example, they're tired of living in the suburbs and commuting 2 hours per day and not spending enough time with their spouse. Instead of jumping to selling the flat of their dreams, start by highlighting the roadblocks. Hey, I could have something relevant, but you will need to sink in at least 500K. That's probably out of your budget, right? Or I might have an apartment downtown, but you need to do a viewing next week. And if you're interested, put down a deposit within the week. Would this be moving too fast? This way, instead of selling and then having to deal with the objections, you volunteer the objections up front, getting the prospect in the position where they have to persuade you. The best part, while they try to persuade you, they'll also be persuading themselves. You will achieve 2 things. Remove that wood from your pipeline and get the prospect to sell themselves past any potential objections. Don't chase prospects. Get them to chase you. There is one thing that I didn't necessarily focus on in this video, but it's one of the most essential techniques you need to master in sales, and that is the cold call. You can essentially generate revenue on demand if you get good at this one skill. So click here to check out the following video where I go over everything I learned after making over 120,000 cold calls. So you can steal my learnings for yourself and become a killer at cold calling. See you over there.